Welcome back, Mighty Souls. My name is Stephen Koss. I know it's been quite some time since I put a video up, but I wanted to talk about meditation, connecting to the non-physical again, since it's been 4 months of everyday practice for me. I just kind of want to go over what drove me to that, the experiences, and the techniques, and how that's made an impact on myself and people in my circle. But start up with number one here. What would drive a person to make time every day to meditate? You know, to actually sit down and do the workout, per se. For me, I was really struggling after we got done with that pavilion next door. You know, it was a month of almost everyday work, physical work I hadn't done in a long time, that really pushed the limits of the MS for me. I mean, my hands were not in my control at the end of the day. I remember being on ladders and my feet and legs were giving out, and emotional responses just, really pushed me to the edge. And I'm like, I'm getting worse, because once I got done, I'd go golf with my buddies, and then they were just kicking me, beating me down, taking all my money, Daddy Jeff. But I couldn't even get through the round lately, and it's like, I can't make it through 18. I'm like, well, I didn't drink last night. I've eaten good. I've took my vitamins and took my medicine. I'm good to go. And I'm just like, I'm getting worse, bottom line. And it's like, I had this belief that they told me, by the time you get to age 50, you're at where you're at physically. And that doesn't look good, So I'm trying to kill this belief, because when I first moved here, my landlady, Jane, she introduced me to Dr. Joe Dispenza. His book, Becoming Supernatural. A woman had cured herself who had MS, and she had it much worse than me. She couldn't control her bladder. She kind of kept saying, I'm okay, I'm going to work through this. Real entrepreneur, go-getter, so much drive, type A personality. And then it finally hit her where it's like, oh, I can't control this, and I can't control my hands, and I'm forgetting things, and whatever, you're having all the symptoms. And she's like, she had cured herself through meditation, where the MRIs came back, where the lesions were gone in her brain. So part for me, like, I was getting worse, and I'm 41 right now, and I'm like, I have this belief that I only have, so many good years of physical activity before I'm going to need somebody to help take care of me. But even before Dr. Joe, like, I always believed that I was capable of healing myself. And I don't know if that was just, like, maybe ego a little bit, because I can recall back in middle school when Mr. Seifert, if y'all remember that, man, heard he was a lethal weapon. But he said, scientists don't understand why the human body breaks down. It's put together brilliantly. It's perfect. And it's crazy that it breaks down. And then if we think and we go to, they talk about 95% of our DNA is called junk DNA. Like, they don't know why it's there, its function. I wouldn't think if something was put together so perfect and beautifully, that 95% of it was just leftover crap that we didn't need. So I guess part of me thinks that, like, well, why can't I activate that 95% and create stronger protein synthesis to heal my body faster and repair it? So that's kind of what was driving me. And, like I was talking about in the first video, it's like I've meditated off and on since 2008. I can even remember, like, when I was doing it really hardcore, the last time was 2014, when I was down in Florida going to USF and work out in the morning and run on the beach. I'd come home, I'd eat, and then I'd meditate. I'd get out of the meditation and I'd stare at my vision board. I'd put together the whole thing and just, like, try to really will it into the third dimension so hardcore. And now it's becoming so much more easier. I'm becoming just so much more aware. And it's not work anymore. It's like, I love doing it. I could spend all day there. So that's kind of what was driving me to do this practice for 4 months. And the coolest thing is, like, we'll throw more science in that. It's a habit forms after 66 days, and knock that one out. So, like, now I'm doing meditation in the morning with the bilateral beats, and then usually I do a second meditation if I'm just chilling out. It's like, oh, I could have a smoke, but it's like, hey, why don't we just do breathing for like 10 minutes, and that 10 minutes turns into 20, and I'm gone in meditation. So I'm going to go here to number 2, which is just different experiences that I've had. And I was just flipping through the notebook that I took this out of, and the first page was all these quotes, and number 2 on it. To study thyself is to forget the self. Not exactly her. I didn't write down who said that, but it's a very interesting quote, because that kind of goes with meditation. In order to calm those thoughts down that are running your laundry, errands, bills, dinner, you drop out and you gotta, I'm disconnected from that, because that's just one part of who I am. But to get to these other levels and have these cool experiences and calm that rational mind down, you need to forget, I mean, I don't know if you guys are big into reincarnation, but they always say, oh, you got to forget when you come in. You got to learn these lessons. You got to experience what I can become. And the only way to have more experience and more openness is to stop living in who you are all the time and be like, let me look at it from a different hierarchy, so to speak. So the last 2 days for me, just I'm going to cuss here, fucking amazing. Like, I never felt so good in my life since I was a kid. I can't even remember. Did this meditation in the morning yesterday, first thing when I woke up, and I recommend first thing when you wake up, because your mind's at ease. Nothing's really happened to you yet. You don't got to try too hard to do some breathing. And I've been doing this new quote in my head when I'm doing my breathing, and say, I am, be with me, I'm with you. I am, be with me, I'm with you. And this overwhelming joy. Just like I'm sitting in a chair, and it's just encompasses me, coming from here and here, and just coming out my heart. And I just overwhelmed with joy so hardcore that I started emotional response, uncontrollable crying, where my smile was so high up and the tears are hitting it. It almost busted me out of the meditation. But it was just so amazing. And I'm also having this other experience during these as well, where I'm getting all the fractal patterns are out here or whatever. There's a bunch of patterns, and now it's just starting. I'm seeing the energy kind of come through. It's kind of like rainbow-esque. And then if you've ever done nitrous, that's the only thing I kind of describe it. Everything just starts going womp, 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 and shaking violently, but like with love. Like I'm feeling all this love hit me, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. Golly. So it's been insane. I mean, then I went to the gym. Boom, same thing. I could not wipe the grin off my face. I'm doing cardio and I'm doing my breathing, and I'm seeing fractal patterns, and I'm blasting out, love and joy and health and wealth to everybody like a nuclear bomb. And I just could not wipe the smile off my face. It was awesome. So this be with me technique has been helping a lot. But then even that, after I ate and stuff, I was just jazzed the rest of the day. I called my buddy up, and I'm like, we usually talk every other day. So I just talked to him. So he was like, he goes, what happened? And I'm like, no, man, I'm calling to tell you how great I feel. I go, I haven't felt this awesome, and I can't even tell you. I got so much. I feel like I take 2 of my medications, and I take none, and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm just exploding with energy. I just like, I can't describe this feeling. I felt like I got a bunch of testosterone in me and it was shot up with steroids. It was amazing. So it was cool that just to reiterate that and express that, and if I can get there, you can get there. You know what I mean? But I mean, I've had so many crazy experiences with visuals and seeing different things, and I don't know. I don't want to go too far into that because if you're skeptical in the least, or you've never, let's just not say you're not skeptical, you've never had that type of experience and those connections don't exist, you won't understand it. It'll be a little far-fetched. So let's just, we'll generalize it and just use the term remote viewing. If you're not familiar with that, maybe you've seen the movie, what's it called? The Men That Stare at Goats with Clooney. That's a real program. That's scientifically proven. Remote viewing works. It's true. So you could look into that. And they would just use all kinds of different techniques to basically astral project, but they would be given coordinates. So they would go into whatever would work for them meditation-wise. Lynn Swan wrote a great book on that. He's really cool dude. Check that out. But whatever worked for them, they get into that thing, their zone, let's per se, and then the general would be like, all right, here's the coordinates, and they would get latitude and longitude, and they would go to that place. So that's kind of the techniques that are the things that are happening to me, like I'm going out and being able to see different things. So kind of generalize it at that. But I wanted to talk a little bit about this amazing experience that happened when my buddy Chucky came in from Ohio, and he had taken the bus in. I had to pick him up at 5 in the morning. So he's not in the best shape or whatever, and this guy's been on a bus. He's on all kinds of medications and stuff. He starts getting sick immediately. It's like the family reunion I bring him to in the summertime all over again. I'm here cooking the shrimp up, making this beautiful appetizer. Hey, your buddy's puking in our trash can. No, really, what's going on? No, he's puking. He's got that variant. He's got that COVID. He's got to go. Being on the Greyhound bus too, whatever. He got sick. He was getting sick, and then we went to sleep. It was still like 6:30 in the morning, whatever. So I woke up later, and I was going to do my meditation, and he was sleeping still. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do just came to me like, why don't I just send him some healing energy? Because my mom's a Reiki master. So I was like, well, I'm feeling that shaking. Like I'm seeing the energy a lot more. Why don't I send it somewhere, direct it a little bit better? So I put the bilateral beats on, and I'll throw that link in there if you guys are interested in that. And I'm chilling, and it was coming on quick. Probably because I had to wake up at 4:30 and drive downtown to get them. So I'm going through my exercises, and to open my chakras, I start with the root A-E-I-O-U. And I'm saying this as I'm breathing in, and it helps, and I squeeze up here, and it really helps hit that pineal gland. So I'm doing that. It's coming on really nice. I'm getting really nice visuals. And then I'm going to my earth intake, bringing up all the healing power from the earth, bringing in source or quantum into my crown chakra, having it meet in my heart, and then I was breathing out, and I'm picturing now the colors of the chakra. The heart chakra is green, and he's over here, there's a wall, and he's sleeping right there, and I'm sending over this thick energy beam. Think of Ghostbusters. Don't cross the streams. See you on the other side. So I'm shooting this to him, and then I'm thinking, well, it's got to get a little bit more in depth. I'm thinking. So as it's getting to him through the wall, I was thinking, well, why don't I have the earth also over here, get into his root chakra, and then also picture source energy coming in. So I'm doing the technique, breathing in, going through my chakra tones, bringing all this healing up, bringing it through here, and then I'm breathing out through the heart chakra, all this over here, visualizing him getting hit in his root chakra, getting hit in his crown chakra, and I'm like, I think it needs more. So then I start putting on this little field all the way around him. As this more energy is coming in, this is coming in, and I'm sending it here as well for my intakes. And then this was really cool. Then I'm like, well, it needs just one more thing, I think. I don't know why I think this, right? I'm like, I just took a tuning fork, right? And I just smacked that sucker. Boom. And I was like, now activate it with everything coming in all at one time. And that, I focused about 2/3 of the meditation on him. I think like in the beginning, it was like I was getting into the phase where I was connecting. And then when I was leaving, I was just being thankful. You know, it's a big deal when you start giving thanks when you're in these positions, because then you'll feel that overwhelming joy just hit you and go, boom. So anyway, then it come to me, and he comes out of the bedroom when I ran into the meditation. Maybe it was like 15 minutes or 20 minutes later. He's like, Stu, I feel fucking great, man. He goes, no, his eyes are all big, his head's up. He's like, I feel really, really good. And I was like, you do, huh? He's all excited. I'm like, man, I was just doing a meditation and I was sending you this healing energy. He's like, you were? I was like, yeah. So, I mean, it was funny because I didn't feel like, I knew it worked. Like vindicated. I felt like, awesome. I knew it was going to work. Or like, I knew it already happened. It didn't surprise me. It was cool that he felt really amazing, and like I think it was just overwhelmed with his excitement, to be honest. But that was really awesome experience. So let's just go over a couple techniques here if you're a beginner, because one of my friends like, oh, this video is too advanced for me. So let's use Chucky as a testimonial. He's been doing it now, God, it's between 1 and 2 months. And he's having visuals now. And visions. So he goes, Stu, that's my nickname, I'm sorry for that. What do I gotta do? Like, what? I'm like, just listen to it, you know, put on the bilateral beats and put it on before you go to sleep. And he's like, well, is it okay if I fall asleep? I'm like, yeah, you're still going to get it. You know what I mean? You got to think your mind is 20% conscious, 80 sub. So you're still going to get the information. It's like loading your laptop and you're loading up software. That's all you're doing. So in the beginning, he was just doing that. Maybe about 2 weeks, week and a half in, he goes, I made it through it, I didn't fall asleep. And then he started doing it regularly. It became easy for him because I told him, I'm like, you know, one, don't expect anything. People are just expecting to fail, I think. They're like, this is too hard. I can't do it. I tried it. That's it. It's like, would you go to the gym once and be like, I tried, didn't work, over. Fuck that. Or, you know, anything worth doing is worth doing over and getting better at. You're not going to walk in. Nobody's natural at anything. Sure, there's beginner's luck out there. And you might have some awesome stuff. Like Chucky's had some awesome things happen to him. And it's like, well, I haven't had anything like profound in, 3 days. It's like, okay, bud, you're not going to have an awesome workout every time. So don't expect that. But, first thing in the morning, knock it out, man. And you already knocked out a goal. It's like, mark the board. Check. Meditated. Guess what? The rest of the day is pretty going to be downhill. Now I feel good. I took time for my higher self. I didn't think about all the nonsense that was going to happen. Or maybe you line up your day when you meditate and you're like, I've got an important meeting, and you visualize how it's going to go, and you feel how it feels. Like when you hit that golf swing and you follow through. I always tell my buddies, I'm like, what, if they're struggling, like, feel what it feels like before you hit it. Like that, what's that perfect shot feel like? So you could do that first thing in the morning and set your day up. That would be cool. And just working with your breath is a big deal, right? This is an involuntary method. You tell yourself to breathe every day. I'm going to need you to do this many breaths. Keep us alive, Stephen. You don't. So controlling that breath, understanding that it can take you to places, that inheriting this avatar, being able to breathe, coming back to where you came from, I am, be with me, through breath. And just, even if you're not doing bilateral beats or anything, like my buddy Pat, he's just like, I'm just concentrating on doing 10 deep breaths, like the Hoff method. Chapter 4, breathe, motherfucker, breathe. Just, if you sit there and do consciously think, if you can't slow it down, of bringing in love, light, health, wealth, joy, peace into you, and exhaling all that anger, fear, aggression, sadness out in like a gray smoke, and just focus on doing 10. Instead of smoking a cigarette or whatever your little thing is, having a coffee or getting away from everybody, you just do 10 breaths real quick. What, you don't got time for 10 breaths? That could be pretty easy. So just working on that. You'll feel more in control if you're having a hard time in life. Maybe things are out of control, but you could be in control of your breath. Nice slow ones. I've been liking these nice, real slow, long ones, and then I'll hold it during the meditation, and then real slow exhale too, and then speed it up at times. So yeah, beginner, just put it on and go to sleep, man. Put it on right before bed. Don't expect anything. If anything, you said in the beginning, Chucky said he's helping him sleep better. You know, now, and he's really woke up to me. He goes, I really feel a presence with me. The I am. I mean, I think Christians mostly refer to that as the Holy Spirit, but I felt so fulfilled these last 2 days. Like I'm caught, like I keep trying to tell myself, I want to think of myself as living in too much health, wealth, joy, happiness, that I can't carry it all. It's coming out of me. And I feel like that today and yesterday, like amazingly just bubbling out of me, and that presence just being with me all the time. Like if you use DMT, you know that presence, you don't want it to leave you, because it just is like the highest emotion is love, and it's just vibrating at this pace. So if you just do that, like I said, before you go to bed, it's easy. Don't expect anything. And then once you get good at it, you can stay awake, try and do it first thing in the morning, or do it in the afternoon after a workout when your mind's at ease. And just breathe. Be aware of your breath. Maybe if you become more aware of your breath, you'll become more aware of other things in your surrounding that were running on that subliminal routine. Then maybe you just didn't take the time to notice because that background music was too loud. But another technique you can do, I did a long time ago, before you go to bed, if you want to do that, like program up to, think of yourself as a laptop. You can just write down your goals. And first you write down sometimes you've really succeeded, where you got that promotion, where you made that lift at the gym you couldn't make, where you got that date, where you got that new place to live, that new whatever, you succeeded on your own, got that grade, got that A. And you put yourself in that feeling. And with your breath, you can do 10 quick breaths, and then you can read off the list 7 times, like, this is where I see myself, and then feel it, visualize it, and then just let it go. That's an easy technique. But for me, I guess the more advanced things I've been doing, I guess I'll just go with that sphere again, right? I'm picturing this giant sphere around me. And it's golden, and my physical body is becoming translucent, and my chakras are getting lit up. And now I'm visualizing the colors of them as well. And coming up from the earth, I'm picturing a bunch of hearts, a bunch of cash. I'm picturing that health thing with the snake and peace signs. One at a time with my breath. And then I'm having source, quantum come through my crown chakra. And then reading in the heart. And then during the Kundalini, I'll explode. So this will get filled up with hearts everywhere. And then money. Until it's completely full, like you get that grab machine, you grab it for cash, and there's hearts, and there's cash, and there's peace signs, and there's the health sign, and you're grabbing it at all. And then I'll just shoot it out to the whole earth. Well, whatever. Here's North Carolina where I'm at, right? And it'll just burst out, and it'll start like a wave encompassing the whole earth and then surrounding it. And I'll keep saying, receive so I can give. And I push that through the heart chakra as it goes out. So I'm using that technique, and that's working really great. The super fast breathing, as hard and as fast and as deep as I can go, and then stopping that's bringing some shaking on as well. That's very new. The last 4 days I've been encompassing that to like a 10. That's working. And then not breathing. Now that I'm in control of my breath a lot more, I can take prolonged deep breaths for the time when they're talking to me. Inhale, exhale, I'm still inhaling. And so I'll inhale, I'll hold it all the way in, and then I'll just hold it. And I won't struggle, and then I'll let it out as slow as I can, but all the way to where if you push it all the way out, you can't help but bring your abdominals in, which then causes your spine to shoot this stuff up and hit your pineal gland, which is what helps bring on those visuals. The I am be with me. That's been very powerful. Anything you say with I am is super powerful. Don't forget that. Like when you trash yourself and you say I am, it's the worst thing you can do. So that's been working really good. And I guess it's all like these last 4 months of just, they've been incredible, to be honest. I've been feeling a lot better. I'm more aware when things are not going well, or when I see a negative thing in my direction, and know that's just a lack of love. Like, what does this person need? I got plenty. And it's helping me also, like I said, make an impact. With Chucky, God, if I could teach Chucky how to do this, anybody can learn how to do it. It's not tough. You just have to put the work in. Even if you don't believe. It's probably better if you don't believe. One of the books I've got recently, this woman became so good at it, she was channeling entities. And she wasn't into it at all, period. Her husband was huge into it, and he drug her to all these conferences, and then one conference, it just happened to her because she's like, fine, whatever. Not expecting nothing, because she didn't think nothing was going to happen. Then it became her life's purpose. So, like, just making an impact with him and making an impact on myself, and just trying to raise the vibrations. Like, that's the main goal when I wake up in the morning. My purpose and mission. My positive and negative following each other. doing that, like if I'm just doing my breath work, let's say I don't get anything done. I gotta make a video, I'm not making any songs, I'm not writing anything in the new book or whatever. I'm not cleaning up. It's like if I did this and I raised the vibration and anybody I can come in contact with, my aurora's out that far that they can feel it, and I'm there for whatever they need because I'm more aware now that, you know, I see myself in them immediately instead of seeing them and you and they. So just raising the vibrations up and, you know, creating this habit. You know, 66 days, they say, makes a habit. So if you could put 20 minutes towards that, you got to do it every day. You could do it every other day and still get great results. But you just got to be consistent, just like with the gym. Just like when I'm writing the books and, you know, one foot in front of the other, the longest journey, right? It's all about the journey and just raising the vibration. Just got to find out what your passion is, and you can do that if you quiet the mind down a little bit. And you'll feel that intuition hit you a little bit more. Well, I think that's about all I want to say right now. New Year's Eve. Happy New Year, everybody. Smile big, shine bright. Peace.